Good afternoon, this is Sean Golding with Golding & Golding, here to discuss the basics of the preclearance form used for voluntary disclosure, Form 14457, how it works, what do you have to do, and is it worth it? VDP is the Voluntary Disclosure Program. Now, at our firm, we specialize in offshore matters, and through, I think it was 2008 or 2009 through 2018, there was a specific offshoot of the program called OVDI and then OVDP, Offshore Voluntary Disclosure. These days, they got rid of that program back in September 2018, and now all voluntary disclosures, domestic and foreign, are made under the traditional Voluntary Disclosure Program. They didn't used to have a set preclearance letter. They told you what needed to be done, and then you would create the letter yourself. Now they have a formalized letter, and it's Form 14457. It's a form. It was actually used under prior OVDP in accordance with 14452 and 14453, but they kind of revamped it, and now it's the standardized preclearance letter that's used for submission to VDP. VDP is a great program for people who need it, right? If you're non-willful, you don't need it. If you were non-willful, you might have still done previous OVDP for various reasons. You didn't want to be audited. You wouldn't get audited in that program unless you opted out. You wanted 8 years of compliance. You wanted to know the penalty. You wanted a closing letter. You wanted to be done. Under the new version of the program, it doesn't really work that way. It's primarily just for people who can't qualify as non-willful. The preclearance letter, you don't submit the entire letter as part of the preclearance. You only submit the introductory and part one. Basically, depending on whether, like for us, we do offshore, right? So it'll ask questions about what the purpose of it is, your name and information, all the background, and then, are there any entities associated with you, with your person, right? Do you have foreign accounts? You have to identify the foreign accounts, but you don't get into any significant detail in the preclearance letter. Why? Because you haven't been accepted into the program yet. Preclearance is just a way to have the IRS basically do a background check, or CI to do a background check to see whether you may qualify for the program. And it's totally misleading, but on the letter it makes it sound like in the memorandum that you'll get notice in 30 to 45 days. And years ago when we used to do this, you used to get notice in 30 and 45 days, and it was primarily 30 days. Same with Streamlined, like you would get a confirmation letter within 30 days. Now it could take years. I mean, that's how far behind they are. So that's something important to note, that once you submit the letter, don't be standing by the fax or the mailbox waiting for it to come in. It can be faxed or mailed. Generally, it's going to be faxed. It's not uncommon when people submit to the program that, they want to get everything in there. You never know when they're going to get rid of the program, right? Back in the day with OVDP, they gave everyone 6 months notice. With the recent delinquency procedures, they updated it just on the website. They basically said, hey, it used to be under the Delinquent International Information Return Submission Procedures. It was a total penalty waiver. One day you wake up and they updated the instructions, and it's no longer an automatic penalty waiver. So, you have to kind of weigh getting it done and getting it in versus getting it absolutely accurate. And you should try to be absolutely accurate and thorough, but if you make a mistake, if you have some additional account or something that you don't put in the preclearance, you didn't know about it, it was dormant, and you remembered it later, it's not fatal. Before submitting a voluntary disclosure preclearance letter, you want to speak with a board-certified specialist who specializes in it, and speak to a few. You want to get the lay of the land, because once you make that representation into VDP, you get one bite at the apple, is what I'm getting at. So if you're non-willful, you don't want to get fear-mongered into doing VDP because some guy has a website with big red letters everywhere saying you're going to go to prison for 5 years, or someone else tells you the IRS is going to be knocking at your door. You want to make a balanced, well-thought-out decision before making the preclearance submission. If you're not sure if you're willful or non-willful, you should go through the facts with some lawyers, get a good idea of where you fall. If you are non-willful, you have many other options available to you. You have streamlined domestic offshore, streamlined foreign offshore, delinquency procedures, delinquency FBAR procedures, and reasonable cause. We have a ton of free information available on our main website and our sub-websites. You can always reach out and schedule a reduced fee initial consultation if you think it's appropriate, something that we do here. Again, my name is Sean Golding with Golding & Golding. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.